Hi, my name is Christopher Jones, and this is my ECE 4122 demo. This is built on top of the code that Professor Hurley gave us to look at. It uses a server and a client. So first what I'm going to do is I'm going to check command line input. So if we go through using Visual Studio, which is what I built it in, right now into the server, we send one command line argument, which is the port number. If we set this to an invalid port number, say a negative value, we can go ahead and attempt to run this. As you can see, it says it's an invalid command line argument. So if we go to our server, as you can see, it checks to make sure that there's at least one argument. If the value is less than 6100, or if it's greater than 65535, or it's less than 0, which would be negative, and it tells you that it's an invalid command line argument. And it'll tell you that this right here would be null. And then if there's any sort of exception, it gets caught. Now if we go to our client here, we will debug them by checking properties first. As you can see, debug, we're giving it an IP, which in our example would be the local host, and then 1600. So first what we'll do is we'll only send one command line argument, so we'll send just the local host. And if we go apply this, click OK, and then we go to attempt to send something as a client, it'll tell us that there are too few arguments that are sent. So we'll go back and we will send some gibberish this time. So first we'll say our IP is 80C, and then we'll give it a port of 6100. We'll go through, we'll apply it. Okay, we'll go to debug. Take a second because SFML is attempting to build the IP, and then it'll tell us, hey, this is not an invalid command line argument. And if we click enter on our keyboard, you can see it'll actually take us out. So it satisfies that requirement too. So now what we're going to do is we are going to go back and we're going to set our local host. We'll apply this. We'll go ahead and attempt to build a server. Forgot to change that on, that is my bad, but we can test that this one will take enter and close the program. We'll go back, we'll set our E6100. Go through, apply it, click OK. Now, if we go ahead and build, as you can see, it's listening on port 6100 and it's waiting for a connection. So what we're going to do is we're going to debug, start a new instance. As we set the values to be the port number of 1600 and the local host as the IP, it's already connected. So if we go back to our server, we'll go ahead and check our log file here. As you can see, it says a new connection was added. So now we'll go back to our client and we'll send a message from first client. You can see it asks for messages over and over again. This is another message. The end. Now we'll go back and we will check our log file. So you can see it sent all of these messages. Now I also, instead of adding an end here or using enter, what I figured was we'd give it a special command. So using a quit client, it will actually completely quit out of the client. If we go back and we check the log file here, as you can see, it says that we've disconnected the socket on the server side, so we know that we've disconnected. So now what we can do is we can go through and create a new client for each instance. So client one message. Now we'll go through and we'll create a message for client 2. We'll create a message from client 3. Then we'll say, just to keep things fresh, we'll say message from client 4. Finally, we are going to create a 5th, so we'll say client 5 message. Cool. So now we've created 5 clients. So if we go to our log file, as you can see, we've added 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clients, and we've successfully gathered the messages that they sent. So now if we go to this terminal for our 5th client, and we go ahead and we close this one, and we go back and we look at the log file, as you can see, we've disconnected the socket. So now we can go through and close that many, get out of this log file, and as you can see, we've closed 4 total, and we still have a client available. Message, we'll send a file message from this client, and we'll go ahead and close out of it using a normal closeout method. And as you can see here, if we go back to our log file, as you can see, we sent the final message, we disconnected. And just to confirm, we can go ahead and add a new client. Hello from my client. And we will go ahead and clear out this one. Sometimes I forget whether to close the client because it's one of them and I'm very tired. As you can see, now if we go and look at our log file, it's going to tell you quick close, which is the message I failed to send, and it'll tell you this disconnected. And it's saved as server.log in the SFML master file that we from Professor Hurley, and I built it using CMake. I downloaded the thing, but I used the CMake application and I was able to build this entire thing here. So to go through and build all this and all that. So thank you for the demo. I really appreciate it. This video demo is really great. I definitely prefer these. Anyways, thanks guys.